Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us today. We want to welcome any newcomers who might be with us today. Any new folks who's not been to Unity of Delaware or Unity? Oh, okay. We have a gift for you. And thanks for being here. Today is our guest speaker Sunday, and we are blessed to have Mary Deneen with us as our speaker. And Robin Cummings and Michael Contrast on music. And we thank them for being here today. Thank you so much. And a little bit about Mary. She's a licensed alternative medicine practitioner and has been doing acupuncture for over 20 years. She is the author of Live Fully, Release Fear, Embrace Inner Faith. Mary is an OSU graduate in family life education and a trained religious science practitioner. Mary's title this morning is Full of Grace. We start out with a few announcements. Most of you know we have a yoga class here at the church every Thursday at 1 p.m. with Yogi Tamara Lieber. She's a certified yoga instructor and offers this weekly class for our members and friends. It's open to all ages, no yoga experience is necessary, and it's on a donation basis. Our annual summer concert is fast approaching, and it will be held on Saturday, August 17th at 6 p.m. We'll be on the back lawn, weather permitting, so bring a lawn chair. If it's too hot, we'll be inside. A wonderful lineup of musicians has come together, as always, and it will be a great community event with refreshments provided by our members and friends. And it's our only fundraiser for the year. And there's a sign-up sheet on the back table for if you would like to donate refreshments for the concert. And finally, many thanks to all of you for joining us today and your generous gifts in support of our ministry, whether by PayPal or through our website, unitydelawareohio.org, or in the offering baskets in the back. We are truly grateful for your tithes and gifts. And now we will begin with prayer. We're very inclusive in our prayers in Unity. We hold the highest in mind and heart for ourselves and each other and our communities and the world. If you're joining us online, remember you can send in a prayer request anytime via our website, unitydelawareohio.org. Just use the prayer request tab at the top of the page. Now, Robin will lead us into prayer with a song.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings
The Lord is in the presence of this place. I breathe it in. I relax, knowing that God is right here, right now. This force, this present, this source surrounds us each today as we open this service. The service of the music, the message, the community. I say thank you. Thank you, Spirit. And with that, I bless each and every person here today, each and every person online, and each person who sees or watches this in the future. May that Spirit surround you with grace. And with that, I open to this service.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. Open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that's real. Love that sets us free. There's only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, I close my eyes, quiet my mind. I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that's real, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love, only love. There is only love. Love that's real, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
Good morning. Thank you for being here today. Somebody said something about a fan club. Well, yes, I do recognize a few people that are important in my life. And I hope that the rest of you, I get to know you better too. The talk title today is Full of Grace. So let me take you back in time, right? It is December 1975. The Cowboys are playing the Vikings. Yes, it's an NFL football game. And there's a quarterback. His name is Roger Staubach. And it's the fourth inning. The game's tied. And my husband's sitting over here going, you were talking about football, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing and saying it all wrong. This is how much I know about football. However, he did something. What did he do, honey? What did he do?
I don't know. It was the fourth inning, so I don't know.
incredible, amazing pass. And all of the newscasters afterwards went up to him and said, "What did you do? How did you do that?" And he said, "Well, I lined up the pass, I threw it to the receiver, he caught it, and in the process, I said a Hail Mary." And what do we know that this pass is called now? The Hail Mary pass, okay? My husband, I'm telling you, he's like, "Oh my God, my wife is talking about football." I know nothing about football. I gave it a great laugh. But I do know something about a Hail Mary. I did 12 years of Catholic school education. In second grade, I got a little plastic Mary statue for memorizing that prayer perfectly out loud in front of other people. That's an accomplishment. So, how many of you know this prayer? If you don't, let me tell you. It begins with, "Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee." So grace. What is grace? We talk about it. It's mentioned in the New Testament when Gabriel showed up to Mary and said, "Greetings, hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee." Okay, good. In the Old Testament, Isaiah, it talks about the 7 graces. The Bible actually mentions grace 170 times. We as a family said grace before dinner. Had to say grace. Couldn't have a meal until you said grace. A New Age teacher that I really enjoy talks about grace. Her name is Carolyn Mace. She calls it a mystical substance. Honestly, what is grace? What is grace? Hold that thought, okay? When I was in school to become a professional prayer practitioner, say that 3 times fast, I took a class and we learned something called God qualities. The best way to explain God qualities is just to give you some examples. Stamina, perseverance, understanding, compassion, acceptance, faith. There's tons more. All of these words or these qualities are something we aspire to, something we want to embody. They're verbs, they're actions. These words mean nothing until we put them into action. So love is a word, okay, until you see it or experience it in action. Compassion is a word until you experience it or see it in action. It's actually an energetic expression. These words have energy. My Chinese medicine practice tells me about energy. So words, actions, feelings, belief all have energy. It's an inner state of being that is optimistic, positive, hopeful. Okay. We know from the brain and studies and science that the brain prefers to have this optimistic, positive quality to it. It doesn't really enjoy when we're sitting in our fears, in our angst, our upset. We prefer having this faith-filled, loving expression. The brain enjoys it. It's interesting, there's a lot of New Age teachers that talk about energy now. Joe Dispenza, anybody heard of him? He talks about evolving the brain. Evolving the brain? We didn't used to talk about evolving the brain. But how can we use our brain to better serve us? Abraham Hicks, high flying disc. Get yourself on a higher flying disc, a better feeling place. Be in the vortex they talk about. Heart math teachers. Anybody heard of heart math? They talk about the breath and the heart being in a coherent state where we are more calmer, quieter, ease in our system. Hertz music. Anybody witnessed any of that? You can find it online. You just kind of Google it in and you can listen to it. And this music has a resonance to it that is really good for, you can find the right Hertz for studying or healing. That's what I like to use. I use it in my office when I'm working with patients. It helps a background, a resonance of energy around the room to help with healing. One of my favorite teachers was David Hawkins. He talked about the map of consciousness, and he calibrated using kinesiology from 1,000 to 0 words. And what did they resonate as? Of course, fear is your lowest resonance, and enlightenment was the highest one. And who embodies, remember, how do we practice this? Who embodies this type of energy? Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, they had enlightenment down within their system. These teachers, they talk to us about a higher vibration. How can I stay in that more optimistic, positive a place? Because when I align myself with lower vibrations, it doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel good in yourself to be in that fearful place. Being aligned with the higher vibration aligns us with spirit. And the choice is always ours. Where do we want to put our focus? But let's go back to grace, okay? What is it? The Old Testament tells us of 7 graces. They are wisdom, understanding, counsel, fortitude, knowledge, piety, devotion. Does anybody see any kind of correlation between those type of words? They mean nothing until they're put into action, until we embody those graces. They're just words. There is, the scholars define grace, religious scholars, as a divine influence, action words again, that inspires virtues and imparts strength. That's a grace. It imparts strength. It inspires our best self to come forward. These really are the virtues, the qualities that we want to embody. We are hardwired for this mystical force to come through should we decide to let it. So now we know what grace is. How do we use it? Can we use it? Anybody had any challenges here lately? This morning, yesterday? Last Mother's Day, my mother of 94 years was sick. She got viral pneumonia. To make a very long story that lasted about 14 weeks short, she's doing okay. She has returned to her retirement community and is back to living independently. She had her journey. And as her daughter and her power of attorney for her health, I also had a journey, simultaneously. So what I learned about grace, like what do I do with this grace? Well, you can use it every day of every moment, anytime you feel like it. So as I was sitting in the hospital, which got very old very quick, and the angst of the stress from being in that room and knowing that she needed care. So anytime we pushed the button for the call light for the nurse, and they didn't show up in the time manner that I thought they should show up, I went into that kind of anxious state. I went into a lower vibration. Why aren't they here? What are they doing? And my worrisome would start to swirl. And so I got to choose during that time period they weren't there. Mary, would you like to redirect Would you like to reboot? Would you like to change the channel on this that you're experiencing? Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But I knew I could practice it. So before they got in the room, I decided that maybe kindness might be a better expression when they showed up versus how long did it take you to get in here? Nobody wants to hear that, and I didn't want to hear it. In the middle of the night when I would wake up trying to decide, what am I going to do? They're talking to me about hospice. I got to make these big decisions. Oh my goodness. And I would wake up and it's like, oh. And then I would say to myself, clarity, Mary. The grace of clarity is right here, right now. Knowing that God has direction for me if I open to that knowingness. It's hard when you're in a challenge. It can be just the everyday things that you can always pull up a grace to help you through. Because you can be in your anger, you can be in your despair, you can be in your frustrations, or you can shift that channel into something of a little more higher vibration. Because honestly, I don't know if you've heard the inside of your head, but if it's anything like the inside of my head, I am sick and tired of hearing myself complain. So I can shift the channel, change the channel to something a little more positive, a little more optimistic. Call in the graces, because it is the grace, the God qualities, a higher resonating frequency expressions that I'm hardwired for. It heals us at the deepest level. I like this quote by Myrtle Fillmore. You guys know that Myrtle Fillmore is Unity's founders, her and Charles, right? So she has some wonderful expressions. And she says, you do not have a problem except for the one that is in your own mind, and you put it there. So if I wanted that nurse to come in earlier, and I wanted them to be quicker, and they wanted them to, that was my stuff. And it was me that had to practice redirecting. Maybe they were busy, maybe, could be. And it was up to me to shift how I expressed myself. Do I want to come from a place of love? Do I want to come from a place of grace? That was my choice. I can only put the feelings there, I can only put the thoughts there, and I can only put the beliefs there, and only I can change it. So here's my suggestion for you this week, your homework. You guys get homework, okay? Ready? I want you to put together 7 graces and practice one each and every day. Embody it, assimilate to it, try it out. Think of it like the grace du jour, okay? The grace of the day. Everybody gets to try one. And if you're not quite sure of what that grace is, here's what I suggest you do. Take a piece of paper. On one side of this paper, I want you to write everything that you're challenged with. Take a problem. What am I challenged with? And notice the words come up. I'm disappointed. I'm scared. I'm frustrated. I'm whatever it is. And then circle those. Those are lower vibrational words. Okay? Then on the opposite side, the words that you circled, do its opposite. What's the opposite of frustrated? Peaceful. What's the opposite of fearful? Faith-filled. Just find your 7 words that you need to work on. Okay? You might want to start your day with a prayer. It can be a formal prayer, or it can be something really simple that you use all day long. Some people call it a mantra. Sometimes I just call it a prayer. For me, I just say, may I know peace. If that's my grace for the day, may I know peace. So sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night concerned about my mom, okay? And then I start to go down the road, and I'm like, no, Mary, redirect. May I know peace. And I repeat it, and I repeat it until I get quiet again. May I know peace. Sometimes I do a silly prayer, because sometimes that's how my brain works. You can ask my husband. He's like, So sometimes I say to myself, because I think I have angels and guides, and I believe that maybe they nudge me, and they're like poking at me, and they say, Hail Mary, because you know I'm married too. Not God's Mary, but just Mary. And as if it was the angel Gabriel himself that says to me, getting my attention, he says, you do know you're full of it, right? Full of it? Yes, absolutely, positively full of it. And with that surprised look, I go, what? And he says, grace, Mary, grace. Oh, right, grace. I'm full of it, to the brim, full of it. Grace. It is all right here, right now, for me. The universe, the Lord, is with me now. And I am reminded, I am full of it. Absolutely. And so are you. And then I imagine them saying to me, think of a deck of cards, okay, out here in front of me. And they say, okay, Mary, pick a grace. Any grace. Which grace you take it? And I pick my grace for the day. And I practice it. And I embody it. So in closing, know too that you, each and every one of you, and everyone online, are full of it. Anytime that you might hear somebody say, oh, you're full of it. No, it's grace. They're absolutely, positively full of it, grace. So whether you're asked to make difficult decisions for loved ones, or you're just trying to get through your day, and you've been reactive, it's your choice to redirect, reboot, and change that channel from the fear to your faith. It is in that grace that lightens the path, that gives us our superpowers, that makes those crooked places straight. So remember, putting that mystical substance of grace into action, that's the big thing. Put it in action. Will align you with spirit, will align you with God, align you with the universe. And then, just like Roger Staubach, remember the quarterback that my husband's over here snickering about? Launch that grace-filled healing prayer into the universe. Just wrap it up, pray on it, and then throw it into the universe. Even if you throw like me, girl. And watch what happens. Okay? Let's take that into prayer. Spirit, God, universal force, there is grace, and I am grateful that it is hardwired into me, to each of us. Every one of us right here, we are full of it. Grace, that is. Full of the expressions of compassion, insight, clarity, comfort, ease, joy, all of it is right here, right now, for us, hardwired into you to be expressed out into this world. I know, I remember that when I get myself into a pickle, it's grace. It's grace that I call upon to direct me when the road looks dark. Direct me when I'm confused. Direct me when fear wants to take front and center. And it's when I experience that, when I finally notice, I say, no. Grace. Grace is the power. Grace is a mystical substance. Grace is right here, right now, for me, for each of us. It's a powerful blessing that I know that I have all that I need to experience this world. I am blessed. We are blessed. I take a deep breath. I call it in. I remember. I remember. I let this prayer go. I send it out into the universe, knowing that God is always with me now. Let it go. Let it be. And together we say, awesome.
The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. Anyone can do it. There ain't nothing to it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. No, no, since we're all on our way down, we might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid. Don't let it stand in your way no longer. Everyone knows that love is the only road. Yeah, yeah. Since we're only here for a while, might as well show some style. Give us a smile. Sliding down and gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's such a lovely ride. The thing about time isn't really real. It's all on your point of view. How does it feel to you now? Einstein said that he could never understand it all. No, no, the planet's spinning through space. A smile upon your face. Welcome to the human race. Sliding down and gliding down. Try not to try too hard. Such a lovely ride. Such a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
Okay, now is our time for our thank yous and announcements. First of all, a warm thank you to our speaker today, Mary Deneen, and to Robin Cummings, Hines and Michael for today's music. And we're always grateful to our AV technician, Michael Contras, and his backup, Lana. And of course, we want to thank the kind folks providing the refreshments after the service. I think it's Linda and Candy and Barbie. Huh? Tamara. Oh, okay. I forgot to write that down. Finally, we want to extend a warm thank you for all of your tithes and donations to the church, and we are grateful for your support. And so here's our recap of our announcements. Yoga at the church this Thursday, August 8th at 1 p.m. And Yoga Tamara is our instructor. She's here today if you have any questions. And our annual summer concert is coming up fast on Saturday, August 17th at 6 p.m. on our back lawn if the weather permits. So bring a lawn chair or inside if it's too hot or too wet. And also, I was informed that the Harmony Project is looking for donations of musical instruments. So if you have an instrument that you would like to donate, then you can bring that to our summer concert, and we will make sure they receive those. Well, do you know what today is? The first Sunday of August. So of course, we want to know if anyone has a special day Sunday, birthday, anniversary, anything that you're celebrating that's coming up in this month. So if so, please come up for our special day song and blessing. August. Anybody in August? No birthdays? Nobody? Okay. All right. So now we'll circle up for our peace song.
That's not something to fall over, is it?